Hey guys, Mosa here, and today I'm bringing you my Super Bowl predictions between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, without a further ado, let's get started. Now, let's kick it off with the Eagles injury report. We got wide receiver Britton Covey with a neck injury, running back Kenneth Gainwell with a concussion and a knee injury, defensive end Brandon Graham with an elbow injury, and tight end CJ Uzoma who has an abdominal injury, all questionable for the game. Then we move on to linebacker Zach Bond with a groin injury, offensive guard Landon Dickerson with a knee injury, tight end Dallas Goedert with an ankle injury, offensive lineman Cam Jurgens with a back injury, defensive tackle Moro Ojomo with a shoulder injury, cornerback LIX with an illness, Devonta Smith, wide receiver with a hamstring injury, linebacker Nolan Smith with an illness, and offensive lineman Brett Toe with a knee injury. Now, when it comes to this injury report, I think they're all going to play. Even Brandon Graham and maybe CJ Uzoma will be used there as a blocking tight end. Otherwise, not really that much hurt. The offensive line is a bit injured, obviously, but they're going to play. When it comes to Dickerson and Jurgens, they're two best offensive linemen in the interior. Especially Dickerson, who had to play center in the NFC Championship game. But still, I think that this is going to be an all-right offense. While the defense, they're going to get potentially Brandon Graham back. That's going to be pretty good for them. Now, moving on to the offense of the Philadelphia Eagles, we got quarterback Jalen Hurts, running back Saquon Barkley, fullback Kyrie Ballisingame. I don't know if that's how you say it, but he'll be the fullback. Wide receivers are A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, and Jahan Dotson. Tight end Dallas Goedert. Left tackle Jordan Mailata. Left guard Landon Dickerson. Center Cam Jurgens. Right guard Mekhi Becton. And right tackle Lane Johnson. Now this offensive line is going to do pretty good. Like maybe a little bit of trouble with Dickerson and Jurgens. But I still think they're going to be doing a good job blocking for Barkley and for Jalen Hurts. So it's going to be pretty good. They're going to go up against, obviously, Chris Jones and other guys such as Karlaftis and maybe some blitzing linebackers like Tranquil, Bolton, or Chanel. In the end, it all really comes down to how well this offensive line can block. Because without the offensive line, there's no time for Jalen Hurts and no holes for Barkley. But in the receiving game, you obviously got your top two receivers in Brown and Smith, with Dotson there just in case, and Dallas Goedert being the number one tight end. Saquon Barkley is going to be a beast in this game. Now, does that mean the Eagles are going to win? Maybe, maybe not. Jalen Hurts, though, I don't think we're going to be seeing much of him in this game. I think it's going to be more for the run game. Barkley's going to have a day, and probably if the Eagles win, he might even be Super Bowl MVP. Now, moving on to the defense of the Philadelphia Eagles, we got defensive ends Milton Williams and Jalen Carter, nose tackle Jordan Davis, weak side linebacker Nolan Smith, inside linebackers Zach Bond and Oren Burks, with strong side linebacker Josh Sweat. Cornerbacks will be Quinyon Mitchell and Darius Slay, nickelback Cooper DeJean, free safety Reed Blankenship, and CJ Gardner-Johnson at strong safety. This secondary, pretty good, but also pretty young. Like, other than Darius Slay and CJ Gardner-Johnson, you got two rookies on there in Mitchell and DeJean. These two have been pretty good throughout the year. And then you got the pass rush, obviously, the Josh Sweat or Nolan Smith off the edge. And you possibly got some three beasts of defensive linemen in Milton, Carter, and Davis. Most likely just Carter and Davis. But to be honest, this defense will 100% be good enough, potentially beat the Kansas City Chiefs offense. But if they're able to bring back Brandon Graham, that's going to be pretty good for that defense because honestly, that's more pressure on Mahomes and that's what they need. And honestly, linebackers are going to be doing a pretty good job. So are their safeties in the deep. And honestly, this is going to be a pretty good game, offensive and defensively, for the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, moving on to the injury report of the Kansas City Chiefs, we got wide receiver Sky Moore with an abdominal injury. He is doubtful for the game. Then moving on to quarterback Patrick Mahomes with an ankle injury, punter Matt Araiza with an illness, and tackle Jawan Taylor with a knee injury. Now, when it comes down to it, I think Sky Moore will indeed not play in the Super Bowl, but he's not needed, so I don't think that it's going to be much of a factor. Patrick Mahomes' ankle injury, not to worry about that. And Jawan Taylor's knee injury is a bit troublesome, but I think he'll be doing a pretty decent job in this game. But he's going up against a very tough defensive line, so I expect a lot of peril for Mahomes on the right side of the pocket, because honestly, that's going to be tough for the Kansas City Chiefs with a knee injury such as Jawan Taylor's, especially due to offensive lineman injuries, especially to the knee being actually a bit troublesome for the player and the offensive line. Now, moving on to the offense of the Kansas City Chiefs, we got quarterback Patrick Mahomes, running back Kareem Hunt, wide receivers Xavier Worthy, Marquise Hollywood Brown, and Juju Smith-Schuster. Tight end is Travis Kelce, left tackle Joe Thuney, left guard Mike Caliendo, center Creed Humphrey, right guard Trey Smith, and Jawan Taylor at right tackle. Now, in conclusion, I think that this is going to be a very good offensive line, except for the right side. Honestly, I expect Joe Thuney to do okay on the blind side, but Jawan Taylor's knee injury worries me a little bit, so we're going to have to worry about the right side a little bit more. The interior offensive line is going to do a pretty good job, but they're going up against that very good defensive line, like obviously Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis being the two main guys there. And then you get off the edges, maybe some inside linebacker blitzes from Vaughn or Burks. But in the end, it's really going to have a tough time. But it's still going to be a very good offensive line, because honestly, I expect nothing more from the offensive line of the Chiefs. Now, when it comes to the run game, Kareem Hunt will most likely start, but it'll be basically a running back committee with Pacheco, Hunt, and Pirine. And the receiving core, Worthy and Brown would probably be the two main receivers, but if available, maybe D-Hop will get in there a few plays. In the end, it all really comes down to how good the offense can do passing-wise, because in the running back committee, I think it's going to be a lot less than the Eagles, since the Eagles have got Saquon Barkley, and honestly, it's been an injury-prone running back season for the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, moving on to the defense of the Kansas City Chiefs, we got defensive end George Karlaftis and Mike Dana, defensive tackles Tershawn Wharton and Chris Jones, weak side linebacker Drew Tranquill, inside linebacker Nick Bolton, strong side linebacker Leo Chenal, cornerback Trent McDuffie and Jalen Watson, nickelback Jamari Connor, free safety Brian Cook, and Justin Reed at strong safety. Now, when it comes to that defensive line, they got Karlaftis and Dana, and especially Chris Jones. They're all good there. It's going to be an amazing game, but it's going up against a very good Eagles offensive line, so that's another problem. Then you get the blitzes through Tranquill, Bolton, and Chenal, maybe just some dropbacks throughout most of the game. Trent McDuffie, Jalen Watson. McDuffie's probably going to be on, most likely, I think he'll go on AJ, while Jalen will deal with Smith. Maybe a little bit of Chamari Connors and Jahan Dotson. And the linebackers will most likely have one of them going up against the tight end, Dallas Goedert. Now, in the end, the free safeties, free safety and strong safety, Brian Cook is pretty good. So I expect him to go up there and help out against A.J. Brown, while honestly, Justin Reed might get a few blitzes here and then. But in the end, what I think the Chiefs will do is that I think that they'll do a pretty decent job, but they're going up against a tough Eagles offense. Now, in conclusion, I have the Chiefs unfortunately winning 24-23 and becoming the first team to three-peat in the NFL. Now, this has nothing to do with the Chiefs potentially getting help from the refs or anything else. Realistically, I think that even though the better team is Philadelphia, I think we're going to be seeing some Patrick Mahomes magic. He's going to go downfield at one point in this game. He's going to be down by a touchdown. He gets the game winner. And then potentially a lost fumble or interception by Jalen Hurts will seal the game. and give the Chiefs their third consecutive Super Bowl, and I believe their fourth in 6 years, something like that. I don't remember. I think they lost one and then they didn't make it to another. So yeah, that's 6 years, 4 Super Bowls if they win. And that would be the 5th Super Bowl in the Chiefs franchise. In the end, I think that's going to be a pretty good game, even though most NFL fans, including myself, would have rather seen either one of the losers of the NFC and AFC champions reach the Super Bowl rather than the Chiefs or Eagles. Now, that was it for this video. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Comment in my Instagram and tell me down below what you guys think. Who you think's going to win, the Eagles or the Chiefs? Tell me down in the comments below. Now, like this video if you liked it, subscribe, and hit the notification if you want more videos. And I'll see you guys next time.